How to submit your app to the App Store using App Store Connect. So, how to submit your app to the App Store? First, sign up for the Apple Developer Program. Second, prepare your app for submission. 3. Create your App Store listing via App Store Connect. 4. Make your App Store screenshot. 5. Upload your app to the App Store Connect using Xcode. And then the last, submit your app for review. So in order to be able to submit app to the App Store, you need to be enrolled in the Apple Developer Program because it will give you access to a bunch of different benefits, including access to submit app to the Apple stores on all Apple platforms, ability to create a Forest extension and list them in the extensions gallery, access to beta version of Apple software, testing tools like Test Flight, app analytics, and advanced app capabilities. So here's the App Store Connect dashboard look like. Ta-da! Before you're ready to submit your app, let's double check a few things. Next, prepare your app for submission. So make sure your app follows the App Store guidelines. So this is the guidelines. So before your app is live in the Apple Store, it needs to go through an app certification process. These following guidelines test your app and fix any bugs. So when you're testing, don't simply test it under normal condition. Try low network connectivity conditions, low storage condition, test it in order to device and etc. So after preparing your app for submission, let's start to create your App Store listing via App Store Connect. Alright, now you're ready to create your App Store listing. First, log into App Store Connect. So this picture is the new app for you to create. Then also there's a name and category for you to pull up the information about your app. Use the bottom if you are not sure what app you want. At this point, you have to pull up in all the information about your app. The name description, the category to be placed in the App Store, the minimum of age and the audience and the privacy policy and support URL. If your app is based on social media and demands a login, you have to provide a test account and password for the Apple reviewer. So this is the picture for you to know. But if you're not sure of how to write one simple, Google for app privacy policy and you'll see a lot of samples and privacy policy generators that you can use. You also have to provide a URL to a privacy policy of your app. And if you are done for the privacy and policy, you can go to pricing app if you need to publish your app worldwide or not. So by set up ad pricing, you can add app release option if you can decide how your app should be released after it passes the certification process. So this is the picture. If you're done making release option, let's start making App Store screenshot. You have a few different ways to create your screenshot. Technique 1, raw screenshot. The fastest and easy way is just to launch your app in iOS emulator. And the second technique is use a Mac app template for your screenshot. First, you'll need some sort of graphic design software such as Figma, Sketch, and Adobe Shop. But before guys, I recommend Figma because it's free. Next, you'll need the device mockup. Here are some places you can get device mockup. So here's the picture of the mockup phone. Free to use. To select your device, upload your screenshot, and download the mockup in the portrait and landscape orientation. Then you can import that into your graphics program and add whatever text you want. Then next are Rotate 2, a paid tool that lets you control the camera on a 3D device mockup so that you can get the perfect angle. Then support the images and import then the techniques 3, use a App Store screenshot generator. If you don't want to be on Mac app, there are tools out there to make it a very smooth and easy process. Here's the one that I would recommend, the DaVinci apps. So by uploading your App Store screenshot, simply go back to your App Store listing and upload the screenshot that you've created. Then upload your app to App Store Connect using Xcode. So first, your app needs to run properly and be clean of errors. Second, you have your signing and theme information to set up in Xcode. Don't forget you should have your app version set to 1.0 if you are publishing a new app, or remember to increment the build version if you are publishing an update. So here's the picture. At this point, if you are still having issues regarding your Apple ID or the certificates, I would recommend to check these articles as a small refresh. Go to Xcode, Preference, and Account. So to create the full app Archive, you need first to select the generic iOS device. Once this is done, the archive window will open, and this is where you can manage all the archive generated by Xcode. So every time you select archive in the menu, Xcode will bundle a new archive for App Store Connect. Now selecting the archive and choose distribute apps, you'll be prompted to select the method of distribution. Next, once you have selected iOS App Store, it will go over a couple of checks and validation to make sure you're not uploading a broken app. If something happened, this is a great chance Xcode will stop you here and you'll have to go back to the coding or adding missing assets like icons. So if Xcode doesn't find anything wrong with the archive, the upload process will follow. Once again, the upload time will vary depending on the archive size and your internet connection. So this is the picture for the. So once completed, you'll see a final window like this. Congratulations, your app is halfway there to the iOS App Store. So we are done by the upload your apps to App Store Connect using Xcode. Let's continue to how to submit your app for review. Now it's time to add a build you explored from Xcode. The archive was sent via Xcode, but App Store Connect needs some time to process it. If you're already taken care of the apps like description, pricing, and screenshot, there's a great chance that the build is ready to be selected. After that, your app will be on the waiting list for the Apple certification of review theme. Your app should now having a yellow tag like this picture. After your app is approved, you'll get an email about that. Your app is now the Apple Store Hello World. So if you are going to publish an app on the Google Play, there's a step-by-step guide for you to know. This article is a step-by-step guide on how to successfully publish your app on the Google Play Store. So the first step is create a developer account. So before you can publish any app on Google Play, you need to create a developer account. You can easily sign up for one using your existing Google account. The sign up process is fairly straightforward, and you'll need to pay one-time registration fee of $2. After you review and accepted the developer distribution agreement, you can proceed to make the payment using your credit or debit card. To finish the sign up process, fill out all your necessary account details, including your developer name, which will be visible to your customers on Google Play. You can always add more details later. Also, do remember that it can take up to 48 hours for your registration to be fully processed. So step 2, plan to sell. Link your merchant account. If you want to publish a paid app or plan to sell an app purchase, you need to create a payment center profile. Here's how you can do that. Sign up to your Play console, click on download reports or financial, select set up a merchant account now. Number 4, fill cut your business information. Once you create the profile, it will be automatically linked to your developer account. So let's proceed to the step 3, create an AO. Now that you have set up your Play console, you can finally do your app. Here how to do that. First, navigate to all application tab in the menu. Click on select application. Select up your app the difficult language from the drop-down menu. Type in a title for your app. 5. Click on Create. So the title of your app will show on Google Play after you'll publish. Don't worry too much about it. It is all staged. You can always change that same later. So to proceed, step 4, prepare store listing. Before you can publish your app, you need to prepare it to store listing. These are all details that should show customer on your app listing on Google Play. The information required of your store listing is divided into several categories. So this is the product details. So your app title and description should be written with a great user experience in mind. A graphic assets and some parts of under graphic assets are mandatory, like screenshot, a features graphic, and a high resolution icon. Other can optional, but you can add them to make your app look more attractive to users. The languages and translation, you can also add translation of your app's information in the store listing details along with in-language screenshot and other local. The next, the categorization of your part. So this part requires you to select the appropriate type and category your app belongs to from the down emails, then the contact details, the privacy policy for app that requires access to sensitive users. Then step 5, upload APK to an app release. Now that you have prepared the ground to finally upload your app, it's time to dig out your APK. You need to select the type of release you want to upload your first app version to. You can choose between an internet test, a closest test, an open test, and a production release. So once you pick up an option, click on a create release. Next, follow this on-screen instruction to add your APK files and name description you release. So after you're done, press save, then follow the step 6, provide an appropriate content rating. Make sure you enter accurate information. Misinterpretation of your app's context and lead to suspension or removal from the Play Store. So step 7, set up pricing and distribution. So the step 7, once you know how your app is going to make money, you can go ahead and set up your app as free or paid. Remember, you can always change your app from paid to free later, but you cannot change a free app to paid. You can choose also the country's US to distribute your app and opt in to distribute to specific Android devices and program too. So let's proceed to the step 8. Roll out release to publish your app. So you're also almost done. The final step involves reviewing and rolling out your release after making sure you're taking care of everything else. So what's next? If you follow all the steps about correctly, you're all set to successfully publish your app. But you can sit back and relax just yet. Your work has only just begun. To make the most out